Pleasant good afternoon to all. Thank you again for joining us again on this, our 59th NEOC Daily Report. And I want again to begin with my theme. I want to be the first to be last and the last to be first. So to those of you who are listening via radio, watching via television, and tuning via the internet, a hearty welcome to you, and thank you for being consistent with your listening. We continue to monitor the activities as per the 311-911, the NEOC, and also the EOC on Nevis. And if we look at the figures, we see that police, along with the prank calls, are the most highest calls that we are getting. Again, let me appeal to persons to do their best in not interrupting the telephone lines of communications for emergencies. These prank calls are really horrendous. I have to say it that way, and we must do our best to mitigate against such. The Compliance Task Force continues their visit, as the team visited a total of 37 businesses today. And when it comes to some of the particulars, again, good hand hygiene or good hygiene practices and the distancing practices, those are very good. And as we look at some of the other particulars, we can see on the slide that these particulars are being adhered to. When we look at the liquor, it seems as if we are making some good strides in that area, even though I have had persons call me with a number of matters or issues or concerns regarding those bars and liquor stores. And we keep reiterating that the retail liquor license has been suspended, and wholesale liquor license, if I am correct, it still remains the same. So it means that you cannot be selling cold beers for persons to sit down in front of your shop or whatever to drink. And I think Superintendent Henry has been doing a great job in educating us against such. And we look at our personal hygiene, and that in itself is very commendable to see that the behavior of the business places and our citizens is changing. Today, the task force, members of the task force would have visited a number of high schools in St. Kitts in order to prepare our fifth farmers to undertake their CXC examinations. The Washington Archibald, Bastia High School, the Sadler's High School, and we ended at the Charles E. Mills Secondary High Schools. I must say I was very impressed with the measures that have been put in place and the mechanisms that are in place for students to be able to access these rooms safely. And I want to commend the Ministry of Education, in particular the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Hodge, along with his team. They did a tremendous job in ensuring that the protocols are adhered to. I want to acknowledge at this time Exquisite Taste, who donated some pastries to the NEOC, and also to you, Jackie Martin in New York City, who logs on every day once she has the time to listen to the briefings, and also to all of our nationals, friends and colleagues in the diaspora who are listening. Jackie donated $150 to the differently abled, $150 cash for the Cancer Society, and it should be 100, sorry, that was an error, it should be 100 US for the nurses at JNF who work with COVID-19. So thank you, Jackie, and I am certain that from each institution, I will take the opportunity to say a very, very heartfelt thank you for the acknowledgement. Let's take a look at our hurricane tip for today. And during our hurricane tip, we want to speak to evacuation. So who do we want to evacuate according to these tips that we want to provide you today? Persons in low-lying areas should go to a safe spot. And it's important, though, that you have a plan. Where do I go? Where do we assemble? How do we communicate when we reach to the assembly points? Once we reach the assembly points, how do we do a head count, meaning accountability for all the members of the family or the community, depending on how large and who is the target audience for evacuation. And before you leave, shut off the water and also turn off your electricity main switch. These are some of the things that you are being encouraged to do. Also, what is critical when you receive information of a pending impact is that you secure your computers and your electronic equipment so that if you lose your roof, you may have the chance of salvaging your electronic equipment. Also, it's very important that you cover equipment with plastic sheeting and secure them properly. So, once your roof goes, hey, you might be able to have your television survive. Yes, so, in spite of all, you might be able to save something. I have been receiving a lot of questions, a lot of queries, a lot of statements, concerns from citizens across our societies. And it has to do with a number of social media videos and activities, bearing in mind that we are in a political season. I again want to refer you, our citizens, to the statutory rules and orders, SR&Os, number 19 of 2020, the emergency powers for COVID-19. And Section 10 speaks for itself to the restriction and social activities. I was here on Friday when the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Hilroy Brandy, made an appeal to all political leaders and the citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis for us to conduct ourselves in a civil manner and be mindful that we are still dealing with a pandemic and we are to exercise every precaution necessary to protect yourself and those around you. The reality is, it's a sensitive environment, but I wish to make an appeal to all political leaders at this time to promote safety and security as a priority to all of their followers. It is critical, it is important. Let us not lose the gains we have made. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it again. Let us protect our brand, and we, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, are that brand. Thank you very much for listening, and we do look forward for your question this afternoon.